Hey everyone, today we're in rural Kingfisher and we're really here for one reason, and that is to look for a specific person located in a cemetery. Her name is Martha Eaton. Yesterday Sarah and I were antique shopping and she noticed a headstone and pointed it out to me. So just to show you where we're at, it's a dirt road for sure. Lots of hay, tractors, oil, and natural gas. Very rural area, but I had to show you this entrance into the cemetery. This is really nice. This is the Bird Creek Cemetery, and this is where Martha is located. Now she died in the late 1800s, so I'm not sure why this cemetery was established in 1914, or at least it leads me to believe that it is because of the two dates there. But isn't this entrance, this gate into the cemetery, magnificent? I love fences and stuff like this. Now this is not a big cemetery by any means. That's the far right of it going to the west. And then here is the far left of it going to the east. But quite an entrance here. Two gates like that. Love the metalwork on there. That fence goes all the way down. It's really nice. But we're going to go in here and see if we can find Martha. So I'm not sure. This is being maintained and mowed. Very rural cemetery. But luckily it is not a big one. I see a couple markers lean in, one knocked down. And I thought we would come in here and just see if we could find a little bit more about Martha. I did a little research on her, so I know a little bit, but not a whole lot. It's going to take some family or something cluing us in on some more. And some of that family could be out of state or no longer around. I'm not sure. Now you get to see what I do a lot of times. When I'm looking for someone in particular, I walk row by row by row. And a lot of the graves I can find on Find a Grave, and they're famous. But some of them, if you're looking for an old lawman or something like that, you have to sit and go up and down every row. Some of them might be famous, but they're not marked as famous on Find a Grave. And I know some people have chimed in the comments, why don't you ask the office or something like that? Well, as you can see, in a cemetery like this, there is no office. And sometimes rural cemeteries can be large. Luckily, this one is small. So I don't expect it to take us a long time, even if we have to walk every row of this cemetery. We are going to find her. So we're starting in the far western portion, and then we'll work our way east. If I see anything interesting along the way, of course, I will point it out. But we're looking for the Eaton family. And Martha is located in here along with her husband. And how interesting is this? There's some more Eaton family members right here that I did not know about. And so here we are, the far right. Maybe we're close, maybe we're not. But this is interesting how you come in here to look for a person and right off of the bat you find some of the Eaton family members. And like I said, we're just trying to tell her story, so we'll kind of just say who these people are. Jess J. Eaton, Oklahoma, Private in Company K, 3rd Battalion. And he was in World War I. Born July 23rd, 1895, and passed away February 19th, 1964. I'm not exactly sure how these are related to her. This is Eunice Eaton, November 17th, 1899 to July 18th, 1965. This looks like a Navy veteran because it says SM2. It's an E5 in the Navy. Signalman is what that is. Now this has broken off, as you can see. Don't think we can really set it on there, but we'll try. See if we can. I think it's just too far gone, but we'll place it here so at least we can see the name a little bit better. Paul Doak, Signalman 2nd Class, United States Navy, July 14th, 1920 to September 30th, 1992. With his date of birth, he could actually be a World War II veteran in the Navy. I'm not sure. If you're wondering what the connection is, there's this marker right here that says Eaton Doak. The Lord is my shepherd. And so there's, of course, another Doak right here, Lenora B. Eaton Doak. My tongue got twisted. November 12th, 1922 to August 17th, 2004. So these are somehow related to Martha, as is this one right here, T.J. Eaton, September 13th, 1922 to April 23rd, 1989. And obviously TJ is another veteran because there's an American Legion medallion there on the left. On the right it says Moselle. She was born on January 18th, 1923. I've got a horsefly or a bee buzzing around my head. I guess it's a wasp looking at it. It might be a horsefly. Not really too keen on having that buzzing around while I'm filming, because it's getting right up in my nose and my face. I'm not sure what you're doing, dude. But anyways, maybe he likes my deodorant I have on. I'm not sure. Get out of here. Man, what are you doing? Okay, so like I said, we're going to keep walking down these rows to see if we can find any other Eaton family members. And I think I will go back to the car and get a broom to sweep off some of these. So I went back to the car to get a broom. It kind of bothers me to just see these veterans right here, and they're kind of sinking in the ground, or at least this one is, but got this little broom handle here. Thought we would sweep off some of these. Make it a little bit easier than the hand. I don't normally carry this around everywhere in a cemetery just because it's so bulky, and I know I can get a smaller one, but hey, when you got a broken broom, you use what you got. And that is Ellsworth L. Stanborough, PFC, United States Army in World War I, December 9th, 1894 to November 5th, 1975. And then just on the other side is another one, Charles C. Gendra, and I've seen several family members of them. And he is a Tech 5, or was a Tech 5 in the 134th Ordnance Maintenance Battalion, World War II. And October 18th, 1921 to November 19th, 1951. We'll just sweep this one off just for the heck of it. We're here. It's a family member. Joseph Gendra says father. This is interesting. This one right here next to it just kind of has that piece of quartz and some other minerals there. Not sure there is a name that's inscribed here. And it is a Stanborough, but not sure who the name is. That's interesting. You don't see very many markers like that. You can see the name right there. All these people in here could have known each other and somehow been friends or related. Here's a veterans marker here that is busted. FM Alyea. It's kind of different last name. Aliyah. Company A, 85th Illinois Infantry is what that says. Little damage. So yeah, here's an upright marker here. Alyea. Aliyah, I guess is how you say that. What's interesting, I just noticed this behind here, and it's the last name Long. And what's interesting about that is Martha's maiden name was Shoemaker, but her mom's maiden name was Long, and Sarah Long. And so there are several Long family members here. I don't know if they're related or not, but who knows. Now her relatives came out of the Ohio area, so I just kind of imagined that they were maybe located up through there. but I don't know where they're buried at. I just tried to do some quick research in order to come out here in this cemetery, and I'm walking through little sections that are kind of inset into the ground where things have settled. So I do not know if there's anybody there, but I would imagine so if it's sunk down. Now this is the last name Mashke. Not sure if I'm saying that right, but if you look here, it says 89ers, 1871 to 1913. And this is another one right here. So Marie Mashke. Now 89ers, they would have been people that settled here when the land opened up. And so these are pioneers of the area. And I kind of figured that this is maybe what this cemetery was, but I wasn't sure. This is a big bush here, and I don't know if there's anyone in the middle. Sometimes they plant these to designate a particular resting spot, and then they grow up and get out of control. I am not seeing anything off of the bat, right off the bat, but that doesn't mean that there's not something in there that's all covered up. I see a lot of spider webs in there, so I don't know. Yeah, here's definitely some dips in here. This is some ones right here, and I don't know who it is, so we kind of just have to sweep it off because, like I said, we're looking for Martha. And this is Churchfield, 1893 to 1947. And just make sure, because you never know who is in here. Reddington. And another Reddington there. And then we have a Fred, Jack, Gendra. We've seen several of the Gendras. And not trying to spend too much time on each one because, like I said, we're here to find Martha. And this right here. Joseph J. Gendra and Barbara Franova were born and reared in Czechoslovakia and were married there in 1875. They came to the U.S. in 1884, living in Kansas 5 years, and then making the run into Oklahoma in 1889, settling east of Kingfisher, where they resided until their deaths. So that's pretty interesting. That's how the Gendra family came here. This is a big time pioneer cemetery is what it looks like. And it's pretty interesting to see the history documented like that. This is the Copeland family. And here we have the Rudd, and you can see how that particular marker is severely leaning. You don't want to walk on the other side of this, especially being out here by yourself or the middle of nowhere. If that thing falls on you, it'll kill you, cripple you, or make it to where you can't get that off. You'd be surprised how heavy that is, so certainly avoid getting too close to stuff like that. We have the Spencer family there, the Byers family. We're just a few rows into this so far. And like I said, you never know what is where or what is missing. This is the Carter family. If you see me kind of dip down like that, I'm actually sweeping it looking for Martha. I don't know if that's Goble or Gobble. This is Laura Ellen Chance, 7-year-old right there. Someone's obviously coming through this with their tractor and kind of brush hogging it down. Honius is what this family is. We have Rudd. There's Rudd right through here. And Rudd is somehow connected to Spencer, maybe. Or maybe that's the next one over. There's Spencer there. Quite a few Rudds in here. Mosher. And There is a plot area here, but I do not see markers. They could have sunk down into the ground, I'm not sure. This is Rosenborough, I think. You can see a little family plot area there. I could accidentally be walking on some now and not even know it. This is the Bishop family right here. You never know who you might find in through here. Let's see who we have here on this marker. Brown. So you can see they died. Jesse died in 1896, Mary in 1917, and Andrew in 1896. These are definitely more people that were here during the early parts of Oklahoma. It was still a territory, not a state yet. You can see all this grass that's on top could be covering a marker, as well. Just the sheer weight of the markers could have sunk down in the ground. Here we have Foster and a Worthy P. Foster, Minnesota, and private in the 127th Spruce Squadron Air Service, and he died September 28th, 1935. Definitely an early member of the Air Service like that. And this is interesting. This is Grand Army of the Republic, John Stephen Snodgrass, and February 2nd, 1834 to February 23rd, 1919. He was in Company A, 63rd Ohio Volunteer Infantry. Couple nice markers right there. They look like maybe they might have been reset at one time with that base. I'm not sure. Another Snodgrass member right here. What is common in this area is to see markers that are from these Union people like this, and they will be ones that came down and were able to pick the land out first about a month ahead of time. And I don't know if that's the case with these right here or not. But if they were Union, they were able to do that. There's several areas in Oklahoma where you can do that, or where they did do that. That's another veteran there, obviously. American Legion. Several different names in here. Here's Powell. There could be more right in here. I don't know. Couple people right through here. McDowell. King McDowell. Janie, wife of King McDowell. Pretty interesting. So we have Henry, his last name. This one is really leaning right here as well. See what the name is. Nothing on that side. Looks like maybe Byers. Yeah, Byers. David A. Byers. Really leaning. This one right here has fallen. Looks like maybe something was on top as well. Someone pulled up and they've started up a tractor. I thought maybe this might be a Woodman of the World, but it is not from what it seems. B.F. Powell. I'm not exactly sure. Oh, I think that is Woodman of the World. They just abbreviated it different at the top. It's a nice monument, but it is busted right there. And it looks like a critter or animal got down in there and dug underneath it, and that might have been the cause of it. And we have some Fosters right here. Pretty interesting. All of this is dipping down in between in certain spots, so I know that there are graves. I just don't know who. You almost need a rake. The grass is in here, so it's in here so thick. This is Wilson, and what is this? Miller. But this one on the right says something else. Little hard to read. Klinschik? It's a little difficult for me to read. Miller Stanbro, though. You can only hold so much. I'm holding the camera, I'm holding the broom, holding a few note cards in case we find the person that we're looking for. And I'm hoping we are, because there's the end of the cemetery right over there. This one is leaning, and looks like the last name is Wandel, Wandel. Died in 1898. That has leaned, and the marker has fallen over. Gone to rest. You can see that person pulled up, and they're getting in their tractor. Got here right about lunchtime, so they're probably left to go get lunch. Bolenbach. I don't know if he's the one that is mowing this particular cemetery or someone else. There's two tractors over there, quite a few tractors. And this is Foster. That one has leaned, and then it has fallen off of the base as well. And we have Mary Ethel right here. Let's see who we have in the middle of this. Allard maybe. Allard. And died in 1890 something. Charles Allard. But died in 1895, I believe. A little hard to read, and I'm not stepping through that grass right there. Okay, here we go. This is who we're looking for right here. And this is the family plot area, I guess. And we do have some foliage growing right there, but we're looking for Martha Eaton right here. This is why we're here, so we'll sweep off her final resting place. How interesting is it that she is located right here by the gate? I came in that one right there, and then I decided to start down there and found some Eaton family members, but it's right here by the entrance. But Martha Eaton, 1844 to 1896. Now, she was born in Ohio, and I'm not sure where her mother and father are, but they could still be in Ohio. And now her parents, her father was John Shoemaker, and her mother was Sarah Long Shoemaker. I'm not sure when they passed, or if they're in Oklahoma, Ohio, or what. And this is her husband right here, and his name is Michael. So you can see here, I've got some note cards. Now, Michael Eaton is from the Illinois area, and his parents are still in the Illinois area. He lived quite a bit longer than Martha, and now they had 7 kids together, and as nearest I could tell, they had 7 kids, and several are buried up in the Kansas area. And of course, one daughter is in this cemetery, and her name is Ella Eaton McDowell, now that I'm looking at it. So it was someone that we passed, I believe. But anyways, one of their sons was a police officer in Salina, Kansas. I think I'm saying that right. Is it Salina or Salina? But anyways, he was struck by a vehicle while attempting to cross the street, and he is buried up there. So pretty interesting to just kind of know some back history on their kids. You can kind of get on Find a Grave if you wanted to know more about their children or their family. Now, there is a couple family members here in Oklahoma. There's someone else, one of their kids is buried in Lawton, Oklahoma. And so he would be someone that is connected to him, and the family kind of branches out there. Now, looking at this, it's very sad because you can see here that there is no replacement marker up high. I do not see a base or anything here from the old marker, but to me it looks like it might have been somewhere right through here, just because of the way that these bushes are growing right here and there, and then there's a space right here. I do not know if the base was hauled off because it fell and it broke, and so there's no base for that monument to go on. To me, it's kind of bothersome to see a memorial marker in a antique store like that. And I don't think I've ever seen that before. If I have, I don't recall it. Occasionally you'll hear of someone finding a marker up in their attic or something like that. And I have been involved in a couple cemeteries where you find dual names. And it could be because they had an infant that was placed in the cemetery, and then they decided to use one of the old markers from maybe like the mother and place it over the infant just so that they're not lost. And I've tried to work with those families and get those markers placed there with the correct person. And it takes quite a bit of work to do something like that. As far as why that marker was removed, was it stolen? Was it damaged? But at least we have the answer that nothing was replaced. Now these markers, you can see as we pass through here, it can be common to have an upright marker as well as a flat lying marker. And I'm not sure, but these are definitely older markers here. It's not like these were replaced here because the big ones had fallen down or anything. So I do not know. Thought we might just kind of sweep this right here and see if there's anything on that, but there is not. It's just a blank piece of cement there, and I suppose he has the same there. Now there is a brother of his that is here somewhere in the cemetery, and I don't think he has a marker, and so he could be located right here along with his wife. His name is Thomas E. Eaton, and he was born January 13th, 1958, and died August 19th, 1906. And there's no marker on Find a Grave, and so he could be buried here, although it makes me think that no one is buried here because this kind of mounds up and you can see where these have decomposed or sunk down in here. But Thomas's wife was named Martina Chesser, and they got married in Illinois just like these two did, and they had 12 kids, 6 boys and 6 girls. So some of those Eaton family members over here on the other side of the cemetery could be descendants of them. I'm not sure. We'll go back over there and check those names just to be sure. We'll walk the rest of this cemetery just to see if we find any other Eatons in here. We have Ruhl, if I'm saying that correctly, R-U-H-L. And, well, here we go. Here is a Thomas J. Eaton right here. And that is pretty close to the name that we were looking for. It's interesting because he was born after. At least according to Find a Grave, Thomas E. Eaton was born in 1858 and died in 1906. This one is 1863 to 1922. And he married Bertha May Eaton, and her date of birth is 1870, and she died in 1929. So clearly another relative somehow. I'm not sure how. And here we have the Norton family and Dunmeyer. And you can see over here the ground kind of dips down over here, so there are probably more deceased right there with no marker, or the marker has sunk down in there. This is Norton right here, and it's a Korean War veteran. See who this first name is. Marion Norton, United States Army in Korea, November 16th, 1932 to September 16th, 1996. And definitely an American Legion medallion placed there. So we have several Norton family members. Another veteran right here, Roy P. Sr., American Legion medallion there as well. So it is pretty interesting to see all the veterans in here in this rural area. And just to see the Eaton family kind of spread out. Here we have the Hughes family. What's interesting is the different spelling. H-U-G-H-E-S. And then one on the right without the E. So they could have changed the name. And then this is Isabel Mick right here. So we have a Kaler over there. Here's some more Stanbros. There's quite a few of these in here. Everett Stanbro, 1889 to 1972. Someone that could have been born right here when the lands opened up and they settled. John Cleo Stanbro, Staff Sergeant, United States Army in World War II, December 2nd, 1921 to December 6th, 2002. I know someone's been trimming around here, I guess. They left their shears there. And we will leave those. It's not ours to take. I don't ever take items from a cemetery. And this says Marjorie, and I guess Smith. Different spelling of Smith. But I would guess that that's probably who that's for. And veteran right here, Master Sergeant in the United States Air Force in Korea and Vietnam, January 13th, 1928 to October 21st, 2009. Pretty nice marker right here, very patriotic and also very religious with the crosses and the praying hands. And we have a couple there that have their final resting place marked but are not interred in there. It's a future one. Not going to go up there and show it, but here's another veteran I noticed, and it's got some grass on it. Let's see here. Billy Jean Norton, Private First Class in the United States Army during Korea, born July 19th, 1929, and died March 23rd, 2009. It says Korean Service Medal with 1 campaign star. And he is here next to his wife, Audrey Eileen. And she passed away in 1984, so he lived quite a ways after. They were married January 22nd, 1955. And you can see this is a Department of the Army medallion that someone has placed here. Don't know what these are. It's a newer one. So we have definitely found who we're looking for, although it leaves a mystery as to why that marker is in an antique store. This says Gaither, Papa Joe and me. My Papa Joe loves fishing. Now I hope he's not missing his every chance to go if he did not have to row in the ocean or the sea. I'm sure he'd take me, 'cause I always like to go with my Papa Joe. Now if the sea is deep, we'll just go in a creek, in a pond or some lakes, someplace where there's no snakes. No chance for a fall or to get hurt at all, 'cause my Papa Joe loves me. I can tell when he hugs me. What a tribute on a marker like that. I really like that. And I agree to go fishing someplace where there's no snakes. Joe passed away in 1990. He was born in 1935. And his wife passed away in 2010. Looks like someone else is here. It says Robert Gaither, and died on November 2nd, 2018, and was born 6/20/1955. And that's obviously a Harley Davidson emblem there. It's interesting to see a few markers that are sitting sideways like this. This is the McDowell family right here, Rasp and Jones. And so let's see here. We have Mary McDowell and Merville McDowell. And Billy M.L. McDowell, 1935 to 2013, Nan's Eternal Love, Tara's Loving Daddy, Haley Bug and Braden's Hero, Papa. Forrest McDowell, Oklahoma, in a Tech 4, and he was in a quartermaster truck company, looks like. World War II, 1919 to 1953. And here is the daughter that we were looking for. Clara Ella McDowell, she is a Eaton, and it's the daughter of Martha. July 7th, 1883 to August 11th, 1957. Someone here clearly visited her final resting place with those flowers like that. So this McDowell family is certainly a relative, related by marriage, but someone here, maybe the McDowell family, is still in the area, and or a relative, son, daughter, grandson, maybe is still in the area and visiting. That's what these are right here. Some more family members related here. And some of these could be others that are cousins or what have you. Here's another veteran right here. Looks like Clyde Pennington, and in the United States Navy during World War II, May 14th, 1919 to March 21st, 1989. And that was kind of in here in the Stanbro section. Notice this is laying down. We'll just kind of straighten this. See if it stays up. Hopefully it will. It is lightweight, so I think a good wind came along and blew that over. So there we have it. That is the final resting place for Martha Eaton, and there's no larger marker that's there, so I don't know if it just fell over due to the soil shifting, maybe due to mowing, maybe it was vandalism, maybe it was stolen. I do not know. I think my next step is just to release this video and see if we hear from some family members. Also, just contact the antique store, which I do not want to release their name at this time, and find out how they acquired the monument. Also, why are they trying to sell it? To me, it just seems a little odd, a little disrespectful, and a little insensitive that you would try to sell a monument like that. If you made any kind of profit, don't you think you should come back here and maybe erect something a little bit better, since you did sell a monument like that? I don't know. Maybe the family sold it to the antique store or a picker. I've never heard of something like that happening. And Sarah and I frequent antique stores all the time. We're both into antiques. And it's the first time I've ever seen that. Occasionally I'll see the little medallions that are off of veterans' graves, which that's disturbing enough, but there's no way you could ever tell who they go to. But this is the first time for me to ever find a monument to a particular person, and I'm happy that we could see where she's at, and at least she does have this little flat lying marker right here, but I want to find out more. And I think the best thing to do would maybe be just to, if you don't want to replace that, which these are very expensive and I can understand, but don't sell it. Just crush it, use it in a rock garden or something, but it just seems disrespectful to have it in the antique store. I looked on Find a Grave and someone labeled it as a junk store, so I don't know if it went from a junk store to an antique store, if they're calling the antique store a junk store. But their post in the comments where you can leave flowers on Find a Grave just says that they saw it in 2017, in July of 2017, so it's been sitting there for a while. Maybe we can get a few more answers. We'll kind of put some feelers out there, and you can share this video and we can see how much we can find out, maybe from the Eaton family members, the McDowell, or anyone else that's somehow related and might know an answer here in the Kingfisher area or elsewhere. As always, I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Another mystery of the cemetery are those dates once again for 1914, and there's so many 89er pioneers in there. So I guess they were buried in here first, and then later they officially established the cemetery. I'm not sure.